What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here at Troubleshooting. Today, we are back install outside garage. We're going to be installing the big screen upgrade all from Carabc. To be completely transparent with you guys, I actually already did this once, and it's not a fun process. So, give you guys a little bit of backstory. This screen came in about 3 or 4 months ago from Carabc. It comes in with a new dash, obviously because it has a bigger screen. They sent the screen out. Packaging was awesome. Everything came in. It looked like it was very promising, right? Everything was going to work. Harnesses were cleaned up. Everything was fine. And we plugged it in, and it gave us that. It gave us a dark screen, gave us a small little Ford logo, and then it would completely shut off and not work. What I did was I reached out to him, worked out a couple things, and we never got it to work. So my biggest thing was they were running a 4 Sync 3, and I was telling them that they probably need the Sync 4 to make it work with the 8-pin that's in the truck. And so we went back and forth for a couple weeks, and I decided, hey, you know what, till you guys have it figured out, I think I'm just going to pass. There is another channel out there that already did the install. They went and did a bunch of research. They figured out what needed power, that they needed a new 8-pin. They did a bunch of things to make it work. But because I wanted to sell it to you, but because when I install my stuff and it goes to you guys, I didn't want to spend any money or give you guys any trouble if this wasn't plug and play. So here we are. We're going to do it again. They did send us an extra screen. This one does look different. This is the first screen that they sent, which look kind of exactly to the one we had before. And then this is the second screen that they sent, which looks completely different. It's a little bit of variance. Obviously, you can see, I think this black piece right here is the actual 8-pin replacement piece that they needed for the first one. And they also sent us a box. This box right here says it's a Bronco Sync 4. So I'm assuming that this is going to go in there. There is a bunch of wires that don't make any sense to me, so we are going to mess with them a little bit. It looks like a couple of them are for cameras, and then it looks like there's a GPS antennas in there, so we'll mess with those too. They also sent another harness. This harness looks exactly like the other one. This does say Mustang, 19 Mustang on it. It's a little scary, you know, especially because you have to tear the whole dash apart. It kind of sucks doing it. And you guys know it's plastic, so things can break and things like that. We also did the WolfBox install, and I'm actually going to do the cleaner version of it. Right now, I have the WolfBox installed just on top of my mirror. This is the actual bracket to remove my stock mirror and then put this one up there, so that way it looks a little bit cleaner. I didn't show where I posted my cameras up last time, but I did one here. The original spot is right there, but I liked how it looked from here instead. The visibility from that spot and this spot was a little bit different, and I actually like the lower point, especially because we're going to be using it to try to see the trail a little bit more. And then the back one, I ended up putting it just right here on top. The stock one's already right there anyways, but this one is a lot cleaner, a lot clearer. And then because it is a tri-camera, it does have one on the inside. I already unplugged it, but it has one on the dash, just like a dash cam, and it does record like a dash cam, so it's constant. Everything's already pre-wired. I already pretty much did all the work. Doing that was a mission in itself. A lot of tearing apart the panels and making sure you hide everything nicely. But we're gonna dive into this Carabc big screen upgrade, especially if you have like a 21, you got it super early. There's a high chance that you didn't get the big screen because it wasn't available yet, or you had to wait another year. We're going to tear my truck apart and figure out if this works. Other than the headaches of tearing the whole truck apart, it's pretty simple. Obviously some tools to like remove panels and whatnot, and then you'll need some Torx. So I have a Torx screw there. You also need some sockets. I think it's only like a 7 and a 6. You do need long sockets and possibly an extension if I remember correctly. We are going to be tearing the dash apart, so I'll show you what that looks like here in a few minutes. Let's get it. All right, so the first thing we're going to pop off is the center hero button, and then you just pop it right out. So pops right out. There's a plug on the back side, so we're going to go ahead and unplug that bad boy so you can see it there. Alrighty, so that panel's removed. Now we're going to move on to both of these handles. Actually, you got to remove all 3. Might as well get that one out of the way. And it is a T30, so you're just going to take all 4 of these bad boys off and keep it pushing. So I'm going to take these off. I'll show you what it looks like when they're off. So yeah, one thing that you do want to be careful is when you pull this handle off, make sure you don't pull back this way. You pull straight this way, because there's a couple clips here. They're green on this handle right here. Those will snap off. They're completely plastic. And like most new cars, a lot of it is plastic. So Ford, I mean, it's a Ford, you know, what can you say? And then this one only has 2, so you just pop those off and take that handle off. And then we're going to move on to the next step. We're going to be removing the speaker panels. Alrighty, so these speaker panels, these are, I would say, what the trickiest part is, it's not breaking the clips. I did break one of those the last time I installed it because I didn't have any of these. I was using screwdrivers and it wasn't working. You want to start here at the front, pull up, there's two here, and there's two in the back. You can see this one's already kind of popping out because I was messing with it a little bit, but that's the easiest way to do it. You start about right here, you get underneath, there's a section where it lets you kind of get underneath, and then you start messing with it. And just take your time. You know, you're not in a rush to do this. It's not one of those things that you want to rush and you pop one clip on each side, then you kind of move over and pop in the next clip. And so you can see there's two of them there, and then there's two in the back. Those are the tricky ones. So just kind of wiggle them out. Make sure you don't break those clips because that will rattle if you are off-roading. So we're going to remove those and move on to the next step. All right, so we're going to be moving through this really quick. Like I said, there is a full breakdown on how to do the complete teardown in a lot slower pace, but because that's already available, what I want to do is I want to get this installed, make sure that it works, and then go through the features because I think the features haven't really been shown that well on this car ABC. Hopefully, fingers crossed that everything works the way it's supposed to, and we mess with it. And I'll show you some of the features that the actual unit has. The next step is the 7mm here, 7mm across. They're going to remove the bolts that are here, and this whole top section will pop off. So we're going to go ahead and work on that first. I do have this little piece here, which is going to give me a couple more work. It's going to give me a little bit more work than you guys will have to do. You'll actually see some tabs that you can pull back down, and then the two bolts will go up there, and then you just remove them, and this whole thing will slide right out. So we're going to knock that out. I'll show you what this exposed front end looks like. And again, don't forget to unplug your battery because you will be messing with the airbag and stuff shortly after this step. All right, there it is there. You'll see it. It's completely exposed. Once you remove that little, it is a T20 by the way, so if you guys don't have Torx, make sure you grab those before you even start the process, and then we're going to start dismantling the rest of it. But this is where the actual top piece mounts onto. There is three of them, and yeah, we're gonna get to it. There's a bolt here, a bolt on this side that we're going to remove, and then we'll start tearing apart all the interior. We're going to have to drop down this panel and drop down the glove box so we can reach the other bolts that are on both of these ends. Alrighty, so the next step to this is we have to actually remove this and drop it down. That's the reason why you have to remove this handle. And then you just open the glove box. There's a bolt here, and there's also a bolt on the other side. You also have to drop that down. Again, everything is plastic. That is all held by clips, so make sure when you pull it, you do it nice and smooth. You actually can pull right from the center, and it kind of just comes down. There's two clips on that side, and I think 2 or 3 on this side. All those little green plastic clips. Just take your time. Again, this is a patience move. This is not one of those things you want to rush and get done super fast. Both of these bolts look to be 7, so it'll be a 7 on this side, 7 on that side, and this whole module will drop down, give us space to access the other bolts that are there, and then this piece will come down. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that down, show you what it looks like, and then we'll start removing the rest of the pieces off. Go ahead and remove the glove box. It's really easy, by the way. So it just has this little handle right here. You just removed all you have to do is lift, pull this out. On the actual glove box, it has these 2 little corners where you press them in, and it pops right out, and then it just latches to the mount right here. The only reason I did that is because pulling this requires some strength, and it's honestly pretty scary because it's all plastic again, and it's nothing but clips. So what we're gonna do is pull back this way and try to get those clips to pop. It looks like there's one here, one here, one here, and then there's 2 in the center, and then 2 on the side. The other side already went out, but this side has not came out yet. So we're gonna go ahead and shimmy with it and mess with it so we can get it out. Alrighty, squad, now that it's dropped down, I'm going to show you how to get this out of the way. You don't have to necessarily remove it, but it does give you more space to kind of mess with everything as you're plugging it in. There is 3, so it has a push, pull that out, it has a push and pull that out, and then this one has a big clip here, and you just push it and kind of wiggle it out, and this whole piece will come out and get out of the way. So that way it's not in your way while you're working on everything else. Makes everything a little easier to work with. So I'm going to remove it out of the way, and that way it gives me a chance to kind of wipe all this down as well. And get her cleaned up before we install the new Big Daddy screen. Alrighty, squad, so once you remove this, it's going to give you access to the rest of the bolts that you remove. So there is a 7mm here. There's also 3 tabs that you'll see on the underpiece of this gray lip. You're going to remove those 3 bolts. Those are all 7s. And then this whole section will pop right out. So you can see it's already removing itself. I'm going to actually go on the other side of this. But you just pull this back, and then you disconnect the start-stop button, get that out of the way, and then you start working on the dash. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what other bolts need to come off so we can remove the rest of the dash and get the big boy in. Alrighty, so once you remove this little lip, that's going to give you access to the rest of the bolts. I already removed the 2 bolts that are here. That's a 7mm. That's a 7mm. You're going to have a 7mm here, the 2 7mm up top, And then you're going to get to the bottom here. This is the plug for the airbag. So you're going to need a metal tool to kind of pry this out of the socket, the little brace here that you can see in this little spot. I already did it before, obviously, because I told you I already did this once. And then there's two 8mm bolts that are down there. Once you get those things off, this whole thing will pop off. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out, expose this, and then I'll show you the difference between this assembly versus the one that Carabc sent us. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Again, 7mm, 8mm, and this will come right out. Alrighty, squad. So once you remove that panel, it exposes the baby screen. So this is pretty easy. You remove that bolt, that bolt, that bolt, that bolt. The screen pops off. There's a few plugs underneath that you'll have to remove. I'll show you what the 8-pin is that wasn't working before, and see if I have to swap it out or leave it in there. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that everything that they sent fixes the issue they had. I'm going to show you the different dash covers. So the one from China is a little bit different. This one does have white vents, and this one is available in black and in silver or white, I believe. It's on their website. It's a little bit different, but basically the same thing. There's a cover that's missing there. I know I saw it somewhere, so I'll put that back in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to swap out my vents, go put my orange ones back in so it looks like it's a factory Bronco. And then everything else looks like it'll dial in exactly the same. I'm going to be obviously removing the airbag and then popping it in this one. The location, the mounting is exactly the same, so you don't have to worry about anything not fitting. Removing the airbag is a little bit tricky. You have to get a pry bar in this. You have to get a pry bar into these sections right here, so make sure you do that too. But once you get that done, I would say put the screen on, wire it all in before you do any of this stuff though, just to make sure that it works properly. And then once that is dialed in and working the way it's supposed to, then go ahead and finish this piece. So we're gonna take the big screen in there and hope for the best. Let's get it. All right, fam. So the screen is officially off. The new one is right there. You can see the size difference, even just itself right on top of it. That is the 8-pin I think that they were having an issue with. So we're gonna remove. I don't know if I have to remove this piece actually just yet. This looks like it might fit right on top right there. Even the bracketing. So I'm upside down. My bad. But yeah, that's gonna go there. Doesn't look like I'll have to remove it, but if I do, I will pop the 8-pin out. It is Torx 20. And remove that out and then put this in with all its new wires. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna plug all this in, figure this whole thing out, and I hope it doesn't give us any issues. But that is the 8-pin that I've seen. The other channels went and bought one of these and swapped it out. But again, if they're gonna sell you something as plug and play, I think it should work right from factory as it comes out of the box. Or I know that they've been fully disclosing that you need to go get one now before you buy the actual unit. So this unit is about $1,000 compared to like I think $2,500 from the dealership. It all depends, right? Because you can find one of these probably for $200 somewhere. It just a matter if you want to go through the headaches. I've heard different things where this does work with some of the new models. I know the 24 and up I think all comes with the 12-inch screen now, so you won't have to worry about that. But this is 21. This is probably one of the first ones here in California and probably one of the first ones in the US. I've had it for 4 years now, so this is an old baby. So we're gonna remove all of this, plug it all into that, turn the truck on, and see if it works. Let's go. Started trying to figure this out, finding out where all these extra wires are going to be going. Again, I'm not going to be wiring new cameras, new mics, none of that. So if this does not work with it, yeah, it's going to be kind of a problem because I do talk on the phone in my truck. I do use the cameras, even though I do, again, have the new Wolf. It would be nice for this not to be, but the wires did match up correctly. So this little sync 4 box that they give you plugs into here. That plugs back into the original 8-pin. So that's actually going to stay there. The harness jumper is right here. So their harness jumps into the original plug. The original plug gets down into the 8-pin again. And then everything else looks like it matches. It looks like it has power right now. But again, man, I'm hoping that all these extra, like, what? I haven't seen some of these in forever, dude. We're gonna have to rewire all of that stuff because I really don't want to. You know, I mean, this is to push and move. What is this? I don't even know what this is. So it looks like there's a memory card slot there. I don't know. The system might be cool, but I would like not to mess with anything else other than just plug it in and play it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of just like put it up there with one bolt. Put my button to push start back on, plug in the battery, and see what happens. See if we can get some functionality. All right, fam. I'm not even going to bolt it up there because I still have to figure out how all these wires tuck in and get all nice and clean in there. Let's give it some power. Accessories on. You should be getting something from this screen. Carabc, okay. So this looks like it's not the technical Ford sync. This looks like it's a car ABC.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, squad. So we finally got it to work. After messing with it quite a bit. If you do have an iPhone, you do have to go back into your settings on your phone. I have an iPhone Pro Max 3. I'm sure they're all pretty similar, but you have to delete all the stuff that's connected to CarPlay and then just kind of reset everything so that way this reads it, because everything was working correctly. I just couldn't get audio to work. So the system was working right, but the connection was incorrect. All these extra wires that I was afraid of, you really don't need them. I guess this is if you were plugging in a whole brand new system. It gives you the option to plug in a new mic, plug in a new camera also. So it's pretty cool that they give you all these things if you need them, but I don't really need them. Like you see this other wire here. This one gives you like plugins to amplifiers, subwoofers, all those things, and then this plugs into the back of that. I'm assuming that's if you want like super custom audio and whatnot, but I'm not. This all works as interface, just like the Bronco. It's nice and smooth too. It's crisp. It's snappy, just the way it should be. It's working correctly. I mean, I have the iSchool app. I have all my stuff that's on here working correctly. I'm gonna play this and just to show you that the audio is working now, and everything works under your control. But I'm gonna stop that so that way there's no copyright infractions. The one cool thing about this is if you want to dive into it even deeper, I mean, it's delivering as the Ford Sync system now, but you can scroll down here, go to the regular base, and then you can mess with all of their stuff, which is kind of cool, because let's just say you didn't want to put, you know, most of us, sometimes you're stopping for lunch or whatever, you can sit here and you can watch YouTube. You just connect it to the Wi-Fi basically on your phone, and you're connected, and you're able to use the system accordingly. So again, you can have basically a tablet at your disposal. You can use the music app, you can use photos, you can set the back screens, you can go Netflix. I mean, you honestly can make this the main connector to your whole system if you really wanted to. So I'm actually going to wire the GPS just so I can have this working, just in case I ever do use their system. I have it, but it's easy to switch back and forth. You just go basically on here, you go to phone link, and you're back in the regular Ford system, and then you could exit, and it lets you pretty much use everything that you had before. Again, I was real skeptical because there's a lot of extra parts, but it looks like they figured it out. They give you this Ford Sync box. Now I just have to go back in there, tuck it all back away, and she's good to go. So I'm super happy with it. We are gonna put a beating to it and use it accordingly. I'm going to put this whole thing back together, and then I'll show you the final piece. All right, squad, now that we're done inside, we're going to swap the airbag to the new unit here, the new fascia with the bigger screen. I'm also going to be swapping my vents only because I have the Badlands, and the Badlands has the little orange tabs on them. So I just want to get them all done and make it look factory. So that's what we're going to do now. This is kind of tricky to get out because you do have to kind of pull on this while pushing and getting it all out. But first you got to remove all the screws from everywhere. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swap everything over, and then I'm gonna work on cleaning the inside of the truck, putting it all back together. But now you guys have seen the car ABC does work, is now on their website, will function correctly as it should. I will also put a link below if you guys want to save some dough and buy one for your truck. If you have one of the older 8-inch units, you can swap over to the nicer one. And if you have an 8-inch unit that doesn't work and you need one, hit me up because I got one. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this up. I'll give you guys a view of the final showing once it's all back and put together. Alrighty, squad, so taking this bad boy off is a little bit tricky. So I thought it was going to be a simple pry bar, but I don't know if these are supposed to be replaced. I think you're supposed to switch out this whole thing. So you kind of have to press this out. This little piece is made out of rubber. This one's out of plastic. So I think once it goes in, it's not coming back out without breaking that little shield. I am having to bend it back quite a bit. You can see it doesn't come out as easy. There's no like movement either anywhere. So yeah, just take your time, don't break anything, and make it work. All right, squad, we just gave it power again, and before I finished the full install, I wanted to double check it one more time, just because I had to shove this in there quite a bit because of the extra wiring. You also did have to kind of put the little Ford Sync box in here and play around with it quite a bit to make it all get in there nice and neat. But CarPlay should log in immediately, and it should go back to your basically Ford factory screen. There you go. So it logs in and the screen seems to be good, nice, crisp, snappy. Lets you choose all your menus correctly, kind of mess with it. You kind of set it all up according to what you guys like to use. And again, it also does have the option to be able to go into their home base and then also use YouTube and all of that. It's pretty sick, honestly. Now that it's all in there and the work is done and it looks like it's completely working, it's a pretty snappy, well responsive screen. Shout out to Carabc, man, for finally figuring this out. All the vents are working correctly. I actually ended up leaving orange white just to kind of give it a little bit of a different touch, but it looks cool. I mean, nothing special about the vents or anything like that. I mean, it looks cool. The fascia is a little bit different too, which is kind of nice, gives it a different touch. And then if you ever just want to go home, again, this is all stuff you can play with when you're at home, but it's really easy. You just go here, go to phone link, and you're back at it. But everything's working, audio's working. Let's see, make sure gin and juice. There it is. So gin and juice. So there it is. We have sound. Everything seems to be working correctly. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up and then we'll close out the video, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick install and showing you the features. If you do have the smaller screen, I think it's nice. Look at how much bigger the screen is. The other one looks kind of like you cheaped out, and this is a Badlands, so it's not like I cheaped out. I just didn't get the tech, which is this and the 360 cams, but it's nice to have now, and we're here, dude. And also, mine was all scratched up. Now it's all nice and clean, so I'm gonna finish cleaning this up, putting it back together, and we'll close the video up. All right, squad, screen is complete, everything's back together. Now we are just gonna swap out this Wolf mirror. So again, you usually use the stock mirror, which is right there. You would just put this WolfBox right onto it with some straps, but we ended up getting the brackets here, the straps that you normally did. You just loop it up behind it and it would hold it in there. But this bracket actually sits right in here. You just bolt it down and then it uses the factory mount, which makes everything look a lot cleaner. So that's the route where we're gonna go. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll do just one quick walk around and we'll close this whole thing out, dude. More tech goes into the Bronco. Wish us luck. Alrighty, squad, everything is complete. It looks so clean in here now. Now the extra beef from the extra mirror is gone. Everything is dialed in and I'm really happy. All the wiring, all the mess, I hate it, but we ended up knocking it out. I wanted to show you the side-by-side one more time. I do have the extra screen because that first one did not work. There's the 8-inch and there's the 12er. Big difference, big upgrade, and also because you get to watch movies and all of that, it's completely unlocked because it is basically a tablet. You can use it in the Ford system or use it in their system, and the Carabc stuff works really well. We're gonna put some miles on it, see if we get any of the bugs or any issues with some longevity, but I don't think it does because it looks quality. Comes in it comes in a nice box, packaged correctly. All the extra hardware that they send you, all the extra wires that they send you. If you want to get a little wilder, again, you get a mic, you get an extra camera, you get some extra audio stuff. But the stuff that you were supposed to plug and play, it all worked out. And if you guys have any questions, again, hit me up. We will put a link in the description below, save you guys some money. Go buy one if you don't have one already. I know a few of you guys reached out to me on Instagram because I posted that I was already swapping it out. If you guys want to see it in person also, just come and check me out on one of the runs or something. And if you are in San Hollow, all of those guys are going to look at it, I'm sure. But that's it, man. We're going to wrap it up here. Go watch some of the other videos if you haven't seen the Johnson Valley one. Wish us some luck with this WolfBox competition because it should be due by the time you see this video. And hopefully we win. It's $8,000. We'll throw a party with some of the money, pay some bills with the other, get the Gladiator running with the other, and we're gonna get this popping, man. But we will see you on the next episode. San Hollow is only about a week away from now, and it's gonna be a blast, man. So stay tuned. Hit me up again if you have any questions. We'll see you on the next one.